what's up? Thank you so much for being here for my American Horror Story live chat. I just looking at a lot of the messages you guys have been typing, and it's funny because I really love this episode. Like, I've enjoyed this season altogether, but I loved this episode so much. I apologize because apparently one of my dogs does not like this episode, so she's voicing her concerns about it, but I don't know. I just loved it. I see that Ralph says we're overhyping it because the last episode was better. Personally, though, I really think this episode was better. I'm trying to figure out why I thought so. I guess probably because it was just so much like super, like we were just a sequel to Coven, which Coven I just love so much, as you guys know. So I feel like we were just like totally immersed in Coven, and I feel like we learned some new things, and I don't know, I just loved it. But I want to say hi to you guys. So if you haven't said hello and you want me to say hello, I will. So hi to Maria, Ralph, Christian, Curie Q, wow, that is a mouthful, T-Hawk, Ingrid, Jay, Dean, Fred, Thomas, so many people in here, Maria, Show, the Shook Queen, Christian, I can't remember if I said hello to you. Food is my friend. Danielle, Grace, Solomon, thank you guys so much for being here. So everyone knew by the title, or you might have known by the title of next week's episode, that we would finally get the Murder House crossover, and then after this week's episode, you saw why they're going back. So I think that pretty much confirms, if you were still confused, that Michael is the Antichrist. I really like Misty, so I was happy to have her coming back in this episode. We all knew she was going to come back. I didn't know Stevie Nicks was going to be in the episode, but I think that's just really super funny because I can't think of Misty without thinking of Stevie Nicks. They just are one and the same. So I think this is one of the people, like the surprise cameos that Ryan talked about, his Love Boat cast or whatever. So, I don't know why I loved it so much, but I will point this out, as Fernando says, this episode, and this is something that Ryan had been talking about on Twitter in the past couple of weeks, he said it was going to be a huge twist episode, so I don't have a clue what he was talking about because I didn't see any big twists. I don't think going to the murder house is a twist. We knew this was part of the crossover. We also knew from the title of next week's episode they would be going to murder house. So Jessica Lange is supposed to be in it, and it looks like they're trying to be mysterious because you could see like the back of her. I guess that's her in next week's episode. Murder House, again, is my all-time favorite season, so I really, 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 really can't wait till next week because I have missed Murder House so much, and it's amazing that we are going to get a second part to that, or just a little bit of extra time with Murder House. So anyway, I want to go to your guys' comments. I personally loved the frog dissection scene, and I think that the teacher, did deserve to be dissected, so that was funny, although the clip when all of the kids were like talking to Satan or whatever was really, really, really creepy. So I don't know, I just really liked it. I love Misty. So happy to have her back. Now I'm just wondering how they're going to fight Michael, but I guess basically that happens in the present, which is what we saw at the beginning of this series, because we have to have the apocalypse and all of that, and then they come, I guess, to destroy him. I can't stand Michael. He is terrible, so I'm really excited for him to be defeated, which I think will happen by the end of the series. Okay. Let me get to your guys' comments. So Grace says, I think the twist was meant to be that Cordelia knows that Michael isn't the Alpha or the Supreme, and that he isn't taking her status. Also that she knows his history and where he grew up. So that's fair. You know, that's fair. Although I don't think it's fair for Ryan to keep talking about like a huge twist, because even if that's what he considers the twist, I don't think that was much of a twist. I think we were expecting the twist like what happened in Roanoke. That was a really huge twist, and he was hyping up this twist like it was kind of like a Roanoke thing, and I didn't get that at all. So anyway, so Alexa thinks that Mrs. Meade killed Constance so she can be with Michael, and now Constance is trapped in the murder house. Yeah, definitely could be. Food is my friend says, do I think Madison is going to comment on Billy, Constance, Violet, and Tate looking like the other people from Coven? Maybe. It's funny because she's definitely not on board with Michael being evil, but I think she's going to figure that out like when she shows up to Murder House. Dean says the twist was that there was no twist and we all thought there would be a twist, which sucks because who wants to expect a twist? You're straight out told there's a twist and then there's no twist. I don't know. Alexis says they mentioned Blood Moon, which, right, that is a real connection to Roanoke. I'm really sorry about the barking. Anyway, if you've commented and I missed your comment, just comment again. They're flying by. Bernardo says, I really want to know what happened to Constance and why Miss Mead was taking care of Michael. Like, did he kill his grandmother? Maybe Constance knows Mead. So, and we still don't know what happened to Mead because, you know, she was back in this episode and her evil self. And I don't know, you know, obviously she's got to die here pretty soon because she comes back as like a robot. So I'm interested to see what happens with that. Ralph says that people are forgetting that Madison is the second most powerful witch due to she performed 6 of the 7 wonders. I did pretty much forget that, actually. Totally actually forgot that. Locke says you wonder where Queenie, Misty, and a few others are now. So, right. So when we saw the witches come back in the present, I guess, in the after the apocalypse, we were missing some of them. So I don't know if they just left them in a certain area to be safe or what has happened, or did they die, go to hell again, whatever. Ikali says, can we call Mallory Jesus, which was really funny. I love what she did with the deer. And I really like Mallory's character. I think she's really special and I love that. Christian says maybe the part where Cordelia was going behind Michael's back, you think that was the twist? I guess, but as much as I did love the episode, I think it was I think honestly what Ryan did was clickbait. He definitely clickbaited us because he freaking tweeted that there was a twist and I saw it with my own eyes. Sometimes rumors spread and it's like people say different things are going to happen and it's just like a rumor and Ryan never said it, but he did. So, well, V is asking if I saw Jessica Lange on the promo. I saw what I believe is her because we're being led to believe she's in it, but it was weird because they didn't show her face, just like the back of her head, the back of her body, so I'm pretty sure that's her, but I thought it was interesting how they were trying to like kind of surprise us there. Coco is just everything to me, even though she's so annoying and like in real life, I would never like this woman. She's really annoying. The Shook Queen is talking about wanting Coco's powers. But at the same time, the fact that she had the gluten thing where she could figure out what has gluten in it and like that the rich people came over to have her figure out what foods they were eating had gluten was just really funny to me. And I just think she's awesome. And I love having Leslie Grossman in the show because I think she's been good in other seasons as well. Grace says that Ryan posted photos with Michael and Cordelia together and 2 burnt at the stake bodies in the background. You wonder if that is some of the coven will be killed off as traitors. So yeah, I think it's a really good possibility that, you know, the reason we aren't seeing everyone from coven, all of the witches after the apocalypse is because some people have like, I don't know how to say this, but like died. How many times can you die? And I mean, if they die again, can we bring them back like later? Are we ever going to return to these collab seasons? I don't know, crossover seasons. Fernando says that Coco's powers are probably more powerful than she thinks. I think that's totally true, and I think probably by the end of the series, she'll do something big because she herself doesn't think she's that strong, and I think they were just building us up here to her doing something like really awesome because she doesn't really have a lot of faith in herself, even though like her dad had faith in her. Ralph says the plot twist is that Mead is alive and Michael and Mead are planning to kill all the witches and warlocks. This is how Behold and Madison will survive due to they left. All others will be killed. Yeah, Behold is funny. I think someone mentioned how much they liked him. I don't know if that was you, Ralph, or I saw it really fast and then I got on a different topic. But, well, I mean, she's alive in this time period, but is she still alive like after the apocalypse? Because why did we have robot her? You know, that's what I'm wondering. But how much do you guys hate Michael? Like, I can't wait to see him being taken down. He just drives me insane, but just huge props to Cody Fern. I'm pretty sure this is his first time on the show. He's basically the whole show. He's the lead. I think hopefully we'll see him in other seasons, and I think he's done really, really, really amazing. Locke says you're starting to buy into the Mallory isn't a witch but an angel, so there's been a lot of talk online that she's like the archangel, and there's also been, you know, speculation that she will be the one who can eventually destroy Michael, like, near the end. So we could see that happening. I love the barking. I'm so sorry. Blue Droid just wants Queenie to be alive. Me too. I mean, I want all of the people that they had to go and rescue to be alive because it's great to have them back, and I want them to survive and not die again. I mean, I really wish we could keep having all of these characters like in future seasons, but I know that's not going to happen. Gregory really cannot stand Michael. Yeah, he's absolutely terrible. Denim says, do I think Madison will realize that Constance looks like Fiona? I know, my dog is freaking out. I really probably should go pick her up. I should probably do that. She's driving me insane. Hold on, let me go get her. Hold on, guys. What are you doing? Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. If you sit here, you'll be better, right? Okay. All right, so this is Tinkerbell. You've probably seen her before. She's being very bad right now. She was basically looking out the window and barking at some other dog or whatever. So Gregory says, apparently the biggest theory right now is that Constance is dead and trapped in the murder house. Yes, I think a couple people mentioned that earlier on. So, yes, this is Tinkerbell. Tinkerbell apparently hated this episode, so she just wants to bark through the whole live chat so that we can't talk about it. And thank you. And we can just talk about her and how beautiful she is. But we're moving on from that. Thank you. T-Cog says, or Madison will notice how all the characters look similar and break the fourth wall. True. Thank you, guys. As cute as she is a troublemaker. And she has been pretty good the past few times I've done a live chat, but I knew one of these times was coming. So Grace says, Cordelia says Coco can sense danger. You think that's going to be important? Yes, I think I agree with a lot of you guys who are talking about that, how you think that she is going to end up being like really powerful and probably do something big this season because she literally thinks all she can do is discover gluten. But see, she senses evil, which is exactly what Cordelia was saying. So even though we know Michael is evil, is there a chance that maybe somebody else is evil? And I think that's kind of what some of you guys were saying. Like, is there a chance somebody from the Coven, like, double crosses everyone? Because one of the surprises, and I can't remember his name, which I think was a revelation in this episode, is that, like, the lead warlock man was actually working for the devil, I guess, because he was on Michael and Mead's side. So, interestingly enough, you know, we had him knowing what's going on here, but is there somebody else with the witches who is also working with them? Now, I think that could be a twist. Well, I guess gluten is evil if you have celiac disease, Dean. I don't know if it's like, I don't know if people have such terrible allergic reactions they can die, because I know, like, the peanut reaction, the peanuts can kill some people, but you guys have to tell me. I don't have a gluten allergy, which I'm thankful for because I love bread and stuff, but I feel bad if anyone in here has that because I know it can be serious. I just don't know if it's like peanut level serious. I don't know. Show says, you think we liked the episode because it was fast paced and a lot happened. Yeah, I mean, there are some times, even though I love this season and love the show, some seasons in the past and maybe a little bit in this season, that there are little moments of slow, but you know, sometimes they're just trying to set up a storyline or whatever. But no, like, this week's episode was great and I saw no slow moments, and I think next week's is going to be so good. Literally, it's the episode I've been waiting for ever since I heard we were going to have this crossover, because I want to see what happens in the murder house again. It's just fun to go back there. So Grace says, you believe Ariel, that is his name, the lead warlock or whatever, you believe Ariel is just so desperate to find the alpha to stick it to Cordelia. Yes, but I also believe he, like, don't you guys think he knows that Michael's like the Antichrist, or do you think he just thinks he's like a super amazing warlock, like he's the supreme? So Grace says, celiac isn't as bad as a peanut allergy. It's unlikely to kill you, but it can cause extreme pain and IBS. Yes. So thankfully, probably it won't kill you, but my wiggle worm here. V says, you don't think Mallory is a witch. You think she's an angel or something, because Michael said he thought he killed all of them, but one remains when he knew other witches were alive. That's really interesting. So do you guys think that Mallory is going to be the one, like, to kind of take him out at the end? Or do you think maybe it'll be Coco? Or do you think it'll be Cordelia? Because, I mean, I want Cordelia to give him what he deserves, you know? Okay, I'm going to put her down. I'm hoping things go better. This is crawling away from me. So Solomon says Ariel is power mad, blinded by his hatred for Cordelia. But don't you guys think that he is aware that Michael is like the Antichrist? Or you think he just thinks he's a super talented warlock? Super special warlock. So I'm hoping we will see Connie, Britt, and Patrick in next week's episode. And then I don't know how much time will be devoted to Murder House, how many episodes will be devoted, but I'm thinking, and it may be on IMDb, although I found out like a year or two ago that anybody can edit IMDb, so it's not always credible. But it probably says she's going to be in it, and I think she will be. But honestly, crazy stuff went down when I was watching Pretty Little Liars, where people were editing IMDb, and they would say so-and-so would be in the episode, and that person never showed up, and I was like, oh, so anyone can edit it. Okay. Fernando says you feel like the underrated, least powerful witches will unite to take him down. That would be really, really cool. Somebody who has the name AHS Apocalypse, which is cool, says you wonder when we're going back to present day to the actual apocalypse, and you also wonder what happened to the other witches. Well, I like where we are now better than the apocalypse scenes, but I also think we have to go back there because that's where we're going to finish everything. So personally, I would say it would be like the finale and like the week before, but it could be more than that. I don't know. So Ralph says that Connie Britton said she's only doing one episode, which makes me think that there's not going to be a lot of time devoted to Murder House, which makes me very sad because I want more. Yes, Chris Cross Crisis says you're just happy that Misty is here. Absolutely. She's so awesome, and I've missed her. And I was thinking about, I can't remember her real name. Help me out here. But have we not seen her since Coven, or has that actress... No, wait. She was in... Was she in Hotel? I don't know. When have we last seen her on the show? Because I couldn't remember. Alexa says you hate that Angela Bassett is not on this season again. Actually, when I was looking at Twitter last night, I saw a tweet about, it was like, why Angela Bassett isn't in this season. And I meant to go back and read it, but I didn't. So has anyone read? I meant to do that, so I need to go back. Oh, she was in Roanoke. That's right. And Hotel. Lily Rabe. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Yes, but I've missed her. I guess we just didn't see her last year, but we saw her the year before. Can you guys believe that Evan Peters has barely been in this season? I was just thinking about that last night, and I was like, oh my God, this season probably has the least airtime of Evan Peters ever. Thank you, Donovan. I appreciate it. I got it cut and like highlighted recently, so thank you. I appreciate that. Who was Lily Rabe in Hotel? Because I didn't watch that one, so I don't know. So Thomas says, if Tate is the father of Michael, how does he have powers when Tate never had any powers? What if Tate isn't the father? That is the twist. Well, the twist was supposed to come in this episode, so none of that was discussed, so I don't know if there's supposed to be, like, other twists. I thought Evan was in Roanoke, right? Was he not? Wasn't he in that? I don't know. But I love Tate, so that's my favorite person he's ever played. So we need to see that again. I think we will next week. So anyway, wait, what was I talking about here? Something about, so if Tate is the father of Michael. Okay, well, then there's been some debate about that, too. So who is this, Tate's kid, or what's up with that? Yeah, but Evan's barely been in this one. He was Edward Philip Mott in Roanoke. Didn't he have a pretty good role in that show? I thought he did, that season. A Ghost in Roanoke and Sarah Paulson's husband. Yeah, I think we saw him quite a lot. Like, I think this is the one season where we are barely seeing him, which is weird because everyone loves him, so it's just very strange. So I guess he wasn't in a ton of Roanoke. I feel like, don't you feel like this is the least we've seen him in anything, though? I don't know. Chase thinks that Vivian is a witch. I like the black and white scene, Thomas. Yes. I thought it was cool. Did you guys like it? Where he was, like, performing the seven wonders, right? That was really cool. I thought it was cool. I liked how they did that. Shook Queen says almost every Lily Rabe character dies. Well, here's my thing. Like, I'm hoping if she dies again, she doesn't get stuck back in that terrible class dissecting frogs. I used to have a really big problem with dissecting animals, too. And I had a class where we were supposed to dissect owl pellets, so it's not as traumatizing, but that's still disgusting. And I didn't really want to do it. I was kind of being a brat, I guess. So I took the bones and made them into a smiley face, and I got like in a lot of trouble because that's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to take the bones and put them back to the shape of like a rat or whatever the heck it was that an owl ate. And since I made the smile face, like I got in a lot of trouble, and they sent me to the hallway. I don't know. I didn't care, but I don't like dissecting animals. At least it wasn't a frog. I can't take that. Solomon says the lack of Evan Peters is devastating, right? Like, that would be my one criticism of this season, but I'm thinking we're going to see him as Tate next week, so I'm okay with it. I don't know. Ew, are you kidding me? You dissected a cat? Where do you live? That seems crazy. Where do you live? I need to know this because that seems way too much. I definitely could not do that one. I would be out. They would have to, you know, give me an F or something. They'd have to kick me out. No cat dissection. Ralph says Evan Peters was in Roanoke a lot. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. He was Sarah's husband and co-star and also played Dandy's great-grandpa. That's what I thought. And I see a lot of questions or comments about Nan. Bring her back. Yeah, what's up with that? Where is she? Is she coming back? I don't know. So Chris Cross says Misty Day and Stevie Nicks dancing, though. It was amazing. Now, I don't really get into the Stevie Nicks thing. Like, that's not a thing for me. I don't know if any of you guys are like big fans, but I just think it's funny. Maybe I would, I mean, I always like it, but I think I would appreciate it more if I was like a huge fan of Stevie Nicks, but I don't know. Solomon says you like how this season is mixing cinematic genres from silent era to horror to comedy. And I hadn't really thought about that, but that is true. Dean says in England, the most you can dissect an onion is an onion in schools. Really? That seems way better. I cannot handle the dissecting stuff. Well, I mean, if it was a vegetable. Okay. So, yeah, Gregory says you were really surprised when they never even mentioned Nan. And V says you wonder who the rubber men were in the second episode. We haven't established that yet, but it looks like Rubber Man is definitely coming back next week, which would make total sense because that's a person from Murder House. So I don't really know the reason behind Evan's absence, if that was just, that's the way they wanted it to be, or if he had other things going on. He did have a movie come out, as you guys know. I don't know when that was shot. I don't know if that was being filmed while this was being filmed. Probably not, because they're still filming this. Anyway, Food is My Friend says, what do you think happened to the Murder House characters when the apocalypse destroyed the house? Well, since they were ghosts anyway, I don't know. That's a good question. What do you guys think? So what happens during an apocalypse to ghosts if they lose the place they're haunting or whatever? I guess that's the question, you know? Chris Cross says, are we going to ignore that Myrtle is alive even though she died in Coven? Well, do I think they'll ever talk about how she came back? Maybe Cordelia was able to get her because maybe it was easier than getting like Madison, Queenie, and Misty because Misty was the one that was the hardest of all. Thomas says, I know this isn't relevant. No, I quit watching Riverdale. I'm really behind. I don't even know when I stopped watching it. So no, I'm sorry. I got to a point where I just didn't enjoy it anymore. I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. Marie Antoinette's Cake said Evan had an interview a few months back that said that No! Really? He said this is his last season because playing the characters Ryan has in plays are emotionally draining. Is that true? Because I can't. No. Cannot. You have to be kidding me. That's really upsetting. Fernando says you think they mentioned if the house was destroyed, the ghost would basically pass over. Okay. So Ralph says Rubber Man only shows up when someone is committing lust or sinning like rape or cheating. So no shock that bad things are going to go down in Murder House again. And the fact that we're going to have Rubber Man back, no surprise either. So I don't know. Is that true about Evan not being in any more American Horror Stories? Because he has to be like almost everyone's favorite, right? I mean, besides like Sarah Paulson, probably. I don't know. K-Bama says, you missed the show this week, but you just saw it. You cannot stay in the cliffhanger at the end when it showed the murder house. You were like, no. Why? You don't want them to go back to murder house? I love it. Food is my friend says, Marcy, the saleswoman from season 1, actually died in season 5 hotel. Really? I don't even hardly remember Marcy from season 1, honestly. So Ralph says that this was explained in Hotel. When a building is destroyed, the ghost becomes free roaming spirits with no home and are never at rest. So apparently the murder house people are roaming around, like in a bad space probably. I don't know. Hi, Reese. Thank you so much for being here. Gregory says, since we're asking questions, where is Kyle? And are we really supposed to believe that Zoe has more dimensions than toilet paper? I don't know. Does anyone have any answers to that? I don't know. Alexis says that Sarah Paulson and Evan Peters are what makes this show great. I would agree with you. But, you know, I think one of my favorite characters for Sarah is Cordelia. That's probably my favorite of her characters, although I really liked her character last season. She was like a very broken person that became like a badass, and I thought that was very cool, like transformation. So, but I've always loved her as Cordelia too. I'm going to have to like very much investigate this Evan Peters thing because that is scandalous news, and I feel like I don't even know why. How can we go on without him, you know? Like, we have to have him. I don't know. I think that next week's episode can be just as good or even better than this week's, which is saying a lot because I really love this week's episode, but I'm so excited. So Patrick says maybe the murder house ghost wrote 666 on the shower scene and told the guy to run in episode 1 if they are roaming free. So that's a question. If, you know, like, are the murder house people roaming around in the, like, apocalypse den or whatever that's called, bunker? V says you loved Sarah as Lana Winters too. Yes, I think she was great as that. Like, she was pretty much the whole focal point of Asylum, and I think she did a really, really, really good job there. But, yeah, Gregory's saying the same thing. I'm not sure how to say her name. Onjin, maybe? You're interested how Zoe, Queenie, and Misty died or what, because they weren't there after Apocalypse, right? And we talked about that a little earlier. So, like, that makes me nervous because I'm scared that they all died, that those 3 died and they went to, like, really bad places. I don't know. Marie's asking about Pepper. I miss Pepper, too. Is she going to be in next season? I don't know, but that's interesting. Aline says, has the fact that Myrtle is alive been discussed? Yes. But we don't know, like, how does she come back? And everyone else had to be, like, retrieved by Michael, so how did she come back? I don't know. That's a good one. The Shook Queen says, you're shocked that Emily and Timothy got some... That's a really great point. So Emily and Timothy were around and were, like, character developed and everything, and I even did, like, a video about it and everything, and we've dropped them. But then someone commented on my video last week saying that they are listed on IMDb as being back in the show, and I can't remember which episode, but again, remember, IMDb sometimes lies because people can edit it, but they're supposed to be back. Now, Ralph is asking, what if Timothy and Emily are the last living relatives of Jesus Christ, and that's why they were special? So there was a ton of, like, Adam and Eve imagery. I think they're supposed to mirror, like, Adam and Eve. I don't know, but there was a lot of that imagery when we were in the apocalypse scenes, so I don't know if that's what's going on. Jason says, you hope the 3 missing went to get other witches somewhere else, but we don't get happy endings, so probably not. Yeah, I'm starting to think that whatever happened to them is not good, and it's really bothering me, especially for, like, Misty. I feel the worst for her because basically, you know, they're saying in this show that hell is your worst nightmare while you're on Earth, basically. So that was probably something that happened to her. I think it did happen to her, right? The frog dissection thing had happened to her in real life, and she just has to keep reliving, like, the same minute over and over and over. It was like on a loop, you know? So she, like, dissects it, someone tells on her, then she brings it back to life, and then we're doing the whole thing again, and again, and again. And she's forced to kill the frog, and then, could you imagine? Like, that definitely is hell. That's absolutely terrible. So, T. Parker says, you don't believe that Evan's quitting. He mentioned Kai put him in a dark place, so that's why he's playing a light character this season. Yeah, so he's been, Kai was, wow. Kai was intense. Kai was kind of like Tate intense. Although Tate was likable, you know, there was parts of Tate that were likable. Right. If hell is like that, nobody would want to go. I mean, I don't think anyone wants to go anyway, but that is serious hell. Serious hell. Terrible. So Gregory's asking if I will watch The Haunting of Hill House on Netflix. I don't know if you guys have seen the promos for that, but it looks really good. There's actually a lot coming out on Netflix because Slasher Season 3 is coming out. It's standalone. If you haven't seen the other 2 seasons, you should. So amazing. And then I think by the end of the year, Black Mirror is coming back, which is so cool because they're going to have choose your own ending episodes where you can change the ending of at least one episode, which is so amazing. So I'm so excited because I love Black Mirror and Scandal so much. They're like my very, very fave Netflix shows. Probably next to 13 Reasons Why, which I think should have ended, but that's besides the case. So Ralph said Nan didn't return because she had a happy ending with the Voodoo King due to she was actually an innocent even though she was a witch and all witches go to hell, so Nan went to heaven. So that makes sense. Yes, Slasher has a season 3 and I think it's coming out soon. Like I think it may be coming out for Halloween or right before. So I'm really, really, really excited about that. Chase says that Kai was Tate, but without the likable parts. Yeah, there was definitely some similarity there, but he was really bad. He was not likable. Yeah, Sabrina is a show that a lot of people have asked me to look into, and that's like, I guess, a Riverdale spinoff, so I may try that out too. And Billy Dean is supposed to be in next week's episode, according to Christian, so thank you. But anyway, yeah, I was really excited by this episode, and I feel like there's not a ton of analyzing or predicting this season. Like, there's some that can be done, but I feel like other seasons have had a lot more opportunities for trying to figure out what's happening, who's going to die, stuff like that. I feel like we just don't have to do that much of that this season, which is okay, but it doesn't mean I don't like it any less because I'm really liking it. Thomas is asking if I think they will do more crossovers. You would like a freak show and hotel one because you find that funny. Possibly. I don't know. I still don't know how many more seasons this show is supposed to have because it has been on for like a really long time. I don't know. But I think I'm going to wrap things up here tonight. Thank you guys so much for being here. Remember, you can always comment on this after it's aired. I go back and reply to every single person throughout the week. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do because I'd really appreciate your help. If you watch How to Get Away with Murder, I'll be back tomorrow with a live chat at 5 o'clock as normal Eastern to talk about that show, which is off to a really good start. But I hope you guys are having a really good week. It's almost the weekend, which is cool. And I think Slasher is coming out pretty soon. You can Google it, but I feel like they were saying October, which is where we are. I think they like to have that out for Halloween. So that's really cool. And the Haunted House on Haunted Hill is coming out pretty soon too. Like really soon, I think, if it's not already out. So thank you guys so much for being here. This was so much fun, and I will see some of you tomorrow for the How to Get Away with Murder chat. Bye, guys.